Uh, okay, cool. I think we're good. All right. What's
Okay.
up, guys? I got Jennessa here with me. She is one of our amazing clients, but also an amazing, amazing salon owner located in the Bay Area of California. We've been working together for, I think, a little over 2 years now,
A
right?
little over something like that. Yeah.
And which is crazy, but time has flown in a good way, and I would just love to be able to capture the growth that you and Fox and Rose and have just because we work with a lot of salon owners, and I think your story is very inspiring. You have great leadership skills, and I just want to be able to share kind of that wealth and knowledge with the other salon owners out there. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about kind of who you are, what you do, and Fox and Rose?
Okay. Sounds good. So, again, like you said, salon owner in the Bay Area, Los Gatos. Opened my salon actually this month. It will be 14 years ago. And when I
Thanks.
started out, thank you. When I started out with my salon, initially I had a booth rental model.
Yeah,
And probably about 5 years into that, I started transitioning out of the booth rental model slowly. And the reason why was because I had so many stylists coming in and asking for a job, like a W-2 position. They wanted to learn. At the same time, I had booth renters that just wanted more. They wanted education. They wanted, um, things that I couldn't offer under the booth rental business model.
great.
But I slowly started making that switch over, and it was great. It was definitely a learning curve, and the way I run my business stays like nothing like how I ran it 14 years ago.
Yeah,
So as I started doing that, I started to really having to learn more about marketing, more about how to really get my business out there and fill my chairs. And I myself got coaching from other people, other companies, and that was a really a big eye opener for me. And one of the things that they coached to actually at the time was to actually have your stylist do all the marketing for themselves. And
yeah,
the coaching was like, don't spend money on marketing, like don't waste it on front desk, don't waste it on marketing, all of those things. So of course I listened to their coaching, and um, it just I got it and I understood it. And I think that was kind of the mindset of the whole industry.
right,
But at the same time, I was like, but if my stylists aren't comfortable with marketing
right.
on their Instagram, I mean, and we coach to that, we want them to post and all that stuff.
Sure.
But if they're kind of like doing all of this work, then why the heck are they working for me as an employer?
Exactly. Why would they give you half their paycheck when they can just
Right.
go make 100% doing it
Yes. And
themselves?
exactly. And of course, we do provide a lot of things beyond just, products for our team. Like we provide one-on-one coaching and a lot of things here at our salon to help them meet their dream path. And we make sure that their whole path within our salon is like customized.
Yeah,
So we kind of have this model where we're employer and employee based, but we offer a lot of flexibility as if you were a booth renter.
right,
So that being said, we want to make sure that our stylist books are filled. So before I met with you, we had made a big change in mindset, not just me, but my salon managers and our team, which was, why are we gatekeeping our salon to the rest of the world? Because we want our stylists to promote themselves. And of course, we want them to promote themselves. And I had a pretty good idea of marketing. So I was already trying to market like through the usual ways of Google, Yelp, of course, Instagram, Facebook, things like
right,
that.
right,
But
right.
when it came down to Instagram and Facebook, I just, it was so complicated for me. I had a hard time knowing if what I was putting out there even made sense.
Yeah.
And you would pop in my feed all the time, actually for years, even before I was at this point. I was like, oh, okay. So I've watched your evolution, which has been really fantastic. And I admire that. But I was like, you were kind of marketing more to like the stylist. And then all of a sudden this ad popped up and it was like, hey, salon owner. And I'm thinking, that's me. Like this actually sounds perfect. And
Yeah,
so I talked with my manager Tori, who and was like, "Hey, should we do this?" And we're like, "You know what? Let's try it." And here we put so much effort into like Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. And when we finally did the marketing with you, it was like there was a little learning curve in the beginning,
sure.
right? Like figure that out. We're in the Bay Area. It was like kind of weird how we were gonna like uh where we were gonna pin the content and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Once we figured out those quirks, it was like, okay, this was totally worth it. This made sense.
Yeah.
And what was great was that all of the things that you teach in your program are things that a lot of it is what we do. Some of it, was new to us, but a lot of it's what we do. So I felt very aligned too. Like, okay,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
like fully aligned with our values and all of those things. And so yeah, so then we did it and it was like, okay, this is working, this is great. And then every time we made a tweak with you and Corey, it was like it would just take off and get even better. Or if something wasn't working, we're like, okay, why isn't that working? But I would say that just those little like things that we had to tweak out it was valuable for us because we learned so much from it.
No, 100%.
So from someone who like tried to learn so much about marketing before I even met you, I still learned massive amounts from you and Corey. And then when it came to like renew, we're like, yeah, like this is like, why would we not do this again?
Yeah.
So here we are,
Yeah.
2 years later, but the best part about it is that like I'm happy, my team is happy, and our clients are happy. And for me, that's like the biggest win.
Yeah.
And something that I do too is, as you know, like I coach to other salon owners on how to lead their team. And this provides me time to lead my team instead of trying to spend all this time. And I do, of course, we have to spend some time on it. If
Absolutely.
anyone's watching this, it's
Yeah.
not, you can just hand it over. But when you have time to do the other things, I just feel like it's allowed me time to really bring my vision and my stylist visions to life and help lead them to where they want to go. So
Yeah.
that's been huge for me.
No, and it really is, and you hit a great point, which is number one, as a commissioned salon owner, in my opinion, and I hope that this shift is happening across the industry as a whole, but you hold a responsibility for your team members. Like it's not just we give you product and a roof over your head, because at the end of the day, that's something they can go do. So it's like, what is the opportunity that they're going to be giving you? And I think a lot of owners get into this position where we were just talking about this, where it's like you have a few stylists who are like they're booked out for 12 weeks. Like they
Right.
got it covered, but you have a group of stylists who are newer or they're struggling, and that's why they come to you for the guidance. Like that's why they're not in booth rent. They're there because they want the structure. They want the guidance. They want the education to be able to get to that point. And I think the biggest fear for a salon owner who, for lack of a better term, gives a shit about their team is the last thing I would want is for these people to not feel that they're getting the opportunity that they could be getting here and then looking elsewhere. Those decisions don't happen overnight. That's a
Right.
feeling that's like kind of they feel it and then they're thinking about it and they're ruminating on it. And if something doesn't change, and I think what ends up happening is a lot of people might turn a blind eye to it because they end up talking to a company like Fill Your Books and maybe it's expensive, or well, I don't know anything about this and I'm putting a lot of trust in these people, or I don't know, or whatever it is. Then you're putting a blind eye to this big aching wound that's in the business. And then that can fester and that can spread not only in the culture of the team where you lose people or whatever. Like, that's the thing that causes you to lose people. And if you are someone who is an owner that truly, truly cares about the team, like do not let the most important lifeblood of the business, which is new clients coming in, new people in your area seeing your names. It does take time to build that momentum. Like you said, it's not an overnight fix. It's not a like press this easy button, but it's at least have the courage, I think it is, to step up as the leader of the team and say, you know what? I'm not going to let this happen. I'm going to try new things. I'm going to show the team that there isn't a glass ceiling. Because I think that's the other thing that causes a lot of stylists to leave is they see the limit and they're like, well, I want to push past that. And if as the owner, you're not willing to push past that, I think that can spread throughout the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's a really good point. Something you said, people that are like, for example, stylist that's booked out 12 weeks. Being in the industry for 14 years, what's great is I have valuable information and experience I can share with them because a lot of times what happens is when stylists are booked out 12 weeks, they don't know what to do after that. They feel
Yeah.
overwhelmed, they feel tired, and then they start making kind of like emotional decisions because that isn't really like a sustainable way to live.
Right.
So my job is to help guide them so that when they hit that glass ceiling is to give them strategy on how to continue to have time for themselves and actually continue to make more, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important that in our in oh poor thing, I hope she's okay. In our salon, in our environment, we want to make sure that there is no glass ceiling
Yeah.
for our stylists. And that's another thing is like, that's something that I was coached to before is a level system, right?
Yes.
We don't have a
Dreaded
level
level
system.
system.
And I mean, honestly, it's not a bad thing to have. Like, I don't
Yeah.
knock on if you have one, it works
Yeah.
for you.
And
That's
it works.
great.
Awesome.
Right. But we don't have a level system because we basically are like, the growth is however high we can get you and make you go and make us go, right?
Right.
So we don't have the level system. We help to coach them so that they don't hit that glass ceiling. And what was the other thing that you mentioned was continuing to you know, spending more, right, for
Yeah.
your stylist, right? Like there's this weird mindset of like, oh, I don't want to spend more. Like it's the scarcity mindset. Like don't spend more, don't spend more. Save, save, save. Don't hire a front desk. Don't pay for advertising.
Yeah.
And then you're just like stuck doing the same thing over and over again and you're like waiting for it to happen.
Hmm.
Whereas when you're proactive, and for me, fill your books, I had a huge return on investment. So if my return on investment is there, then I'm going to continue to use that, right? And so I find a lot of value. I used to spend like 5,000 a month on Yelp ads
Yeah.
and, you know, Google. And now it's like I've taken that down. And I was afraid to do that
Yeah.
actually. I don't know if you remember this. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let me lower these budgets. And so I lowered those budgets and I was like, oh my God, this is going to tell me if our advertising with FYB is working or not.
Yeah.
And I basically practically like depleted those budgets. I still had a little bit in there.
Yeah.
And we were actually performing better than when I had that. So I've learned so much about advertising from the two of you. And like part of me sometimes is like, well, maybe we'll just take it over ourselves and start doing it now that we've learned so much. But then I'm like, but then I'll lose time. And
Yeah.
if I lose
Yeah.
time, I'm not going to be able to help guide my team. And my team are my clients. So as a salon owner, you know, of course, the clients are the salon's clients and the my team's clients, but my clients are my team.
Yeah.
So to what you were saying earlier, it's like, why would they want to be here? Why would they want to work for me? How do we stop the build and bounce, you know, routine from happening? But we have to give them value to want to be able to be here
Yeah.
and a real authentic reason of why they love being at the salon that they're at.
Yeah, and it's just keeping it exciting. Like we had our normal like one-on-one call right before this, and we were talking about trying something new with a new like haircutting video that we can put out there. And you have a focus on curly cuts. We do vivids, and it's almost like getting them involved in the process too. It's like what do you guys want to be promoting? What is the thing that brings you guys joy? Because that's also like I think stylists can get very stuck in the thing that they're really good at because they're good at it. They get popular, they get booked on the thing, but then this kind of allows you to bring in a different type of clientele if you'd like to, or just a new service that you wanted to bring in. So I think it gives so much opportunity not only to you time-wise as the owner, but also, to the team. Would you
Yeah.
say that our stuff was easy to understand? I know you said there was a learning curve in the beginning, which there is for most people, but would you recommend this to someone who maybe isn't like a tech genius, tech heavy, if you will?
Oh, yes, 1000%. I mean, I'm in the Bay Area, so I feel like, you know, Tori and I have a pretty good understanding of tech, but
Yeah.
I don't think what we were doing before we met you, we were like doing more tech, trying to understand that. And
Yeah.
then once we met you guys and you guys took our advertising over, it was like we could just film, upload, you put it together, and then you knew exactly how to pump it out there.
Yeah. And I think
So I
there's,
don't think you need a lot of tech skills. No, you need to know how to like use your camera
yeah.
and talk into a microphone.
Yeah, that's about it. Can't be camera shy. But
Yes.
that was one thing I did want to point out that you said, like, there's how you were like, maybe I could take it over myself. One, the time thing, but two, opportunity cost, right? Because, our ads managers, the people on our team have been doing this for 8, 10 plus years, right? So it's kind of like throwing them a pair of scissors and giving them a video tutorial on how to do it, but then being like, okay, go try it. Their haircut's probably going to look a little bit different than the stylist who's been behind the chair for
Right.
10 plus years. So
I
that's
think,
the thing that you're paying for is
yeah.
experience and consistency.
Yeah, I think it's like if you want to fast track something, then you know you have two options. You can try and do it yourself. You can take all the time in the world to get there, and sure, maybe you will get a similar result, but you might get that result later.
Yeah.
For me, I didn't want to be in that position. I wanted to get that result right now, and I wanted that not even just for myself. I wanted that for my team, right? It's like I needed to show them when we signed up with you, like there was starting to have like this little economic shift,
Yeah,
and everyone could feel it. We could feel it. It always starts on like the East Coast and the West Coast, and it's like
yeah, yeah,
we were feeling that, and I was like, okay, like so when I think that when that happens, a lot of people try to spend less, and
yeah.
then we decided we're going to spend more on we're going to partner with FYB, and it was the best decision we ever made.
That makes me so happy. I appreciate you coming on and sharing all this because I'm sure it could be extremely helpful for other salon owners out there. But shout out, what are your Instagram handles? Where can people find you if they want to,
Love it. Yes, you can find me on Instagram or TikTok. I'm starting to get on there.
love
Um, Hey Foxy J. And then you can find my salon and my salon team at Fox and Rose Salon.
Awesome. Jennessa, I appreciate you a ton. If you're watching this and you're interested in working with Fill Your Books, feel free to head over to fillyourbooks.com. Shoot me a message on Instagram at Jenna Puzio Hair. We'd be happy to help you. Hopefully, we can see you soon. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and if they have questions, they can DM me too, and I'm happy to give them my opinion.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Okay, I'll talk to you guys
All
soon.
right.